Microsoft, and today's webinar is all about our contact center. We're doing this with Imperium Dynamics. You'll see that they've built out a really cool functionality within our contact center, which is an auto dialer. So you'll be able to see that on today's presentation. If you want to just go to the next slide. Really what we're going to talk about is, okay, because Contact Center is our brand new module to the D365 suite. And so we're going to be showing all the different AI features and capabilities for, whether it's your customer that's benefiting from those AI features, or whether it's the agents, or of course in the supervisor and managerial area. And then Imperium Dynamics has also offered to do a free vision and value session. So if you see here today, oh, that doesn't exactly align with the way we do business, we'd like to get to know, how you do things so that we can customize the demo to really fit your needs. And then we'll have the opportunity for question and answer right after that. Next slide. So essentially, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but 4 years ago in April, Microsoft acquired Nuance, and Nuance has always been renowned for its AI-powered speech recognition technology. One of my favorite solutions is the Gatekeeper solution. So this essentially just uses your voice biometrics. So when somebody calls in, it can completely authenticate the identity of that person in 2 seconds with just using their voice print. So it's huge for fraud protection and authentication. But once the acquisition was finalized, essentially what we got to do is take the best of each team. So Nuance and Microsoft collaborated, leveraging their combined strengths. And the goal was to really modernize a solution for customer service. So 1 year after, in 2022, we launched our IVR solutions, and then we had the digital contact center. So fast forward to July of 2024, we unveiled our Microsoft Contact Center, which, like I said, is our newest module in the D365 product suite. So you'll see today it's a Copilot first contact center. It delivers generative AI to every customer engagement channel. It can help your customers with self-service, assisting the agents with answers, automating wrap-up and summarizations, and providing each organization with real-time analytics and reporting. So with that, let's get it right into it. I'm going to pass the mic over to Sarah from Imperium.
Awesome. Thank you, Amy. We want to kind of highlight today the contact center platform. We'll be going through a number of different scenarios to highlight all of the awesome features and especially the AI capabilities. And then one thing we just wanted to highlight as well is the new auto dialer capability that we've released on top of contact center. So a quick look highlighting this scenario too, right? If we're doing outbound campaigns, now contact center agents can do those campaigns, go through those lists instead of having a manual process of, calling out to hundreds of contacts from an Excel sheet. We're saving tons of time and allowing you to really get to all of those contacts and optimize the time you spend as agents by having the actual conversations with the customers who are interested versus leaving voicemails or dialing through and updating spreadsheets. So we'll be diving a little bit into that as a highlight, but our overall focus today is really the entire contact center suite of solutions. So we have that Copilot first experience that Amy just touched on, having AI infused throughout the platform, supporting not only the customers with things like generative AI answers and self-service options, to supporting the agents with suggested resolutions and real-time analytics on the customer sentiment to help understand where that conversation is going and what we need to do to make sure we're providing that top-tier support. Contact Center is supporting all forms of customer interactions, whether that's from a chat on a web portal, a website embedded in an application, to even having bots on things like Microsoft Teams, WhatsApp text message. And that's just for the chatting experiences. We also have very robust features when it comes to calling, whether that's inbound calls or outbound calls, and all supported by IVR and even AI-based IVR. Then we'll talk about how the supervisor role is able to get an extremely nuanced understanding of the performance of the call center with Dynamics Contact Center. Everything from summarization of all the interactions across the channels by agent and overall customer satisfaction analytics. So we have really the most robust features when it comes to that oversight and reporting, and really excited to show you that. And then, of course, we have this new feature that Imperium has released for the outbound campaign management as well, including multiple different levels of auto dialer capability, whether you're looking for a progressive dialer or a predictive dialer, we're supporting all of the above. All right. So let's kind of dive into the demo. Today, we're going to be doing a bit of a day in the life scenario for a bank called My Bank. They have a call center with agents that are supporting customers across all channels and handling different types of scenarios as they come in. So we'll be going through a few different scenarios, and the first one is around the inbound calls. So in this scenario, we have a customer, John is his name. He's needing help with a loan, and he wants to get a loan, not sure exactly how to do that, or if he qualifies, what are the different options. So he's calling in to the number to get some support from the bank. So in this kind of scenario, some of the different challenges that customers might experience are long wait times on the phone, or if we have IVR, it could be very many menu options that they have to go through, or difficulty with that. And that's where AI can really play a great role in understanding the customer's request and then routing them intelligently to the right work streams and agents. So we have really personalized service we can provide from an AI standpoint. And then we're able to automatically analyze the sentiment and route those calls to the right users and agents. And for the agent's perspective, they are receiving so many different tools at their fingertips to help them resolve this customer's request more quickly, whether it's quick replies, summarization of the previous conversation, knowledge articles, or agent scripts that are at their fingertips related to that topic. We'll see how we're able to use this platform to provide faster resolutions and better customer satisfaction. So I will now dive into the system here. Um, I hope everyone can see my screen, and is the Zoom all right? I can kind of zoom in or out if it's too small,
It looks
or
great, Sarah. I can see it.
okay, thank you. So I've just logged in here to my Contact Center web app. I'm logged in the browser using my Office 365 account. It's all natively integrated with Microsoft Teams and my Outlook functions, so it's all part of that same suite of the Microsoft ecosystem. Over here on the left, I have a navigation pane that I can use to access different types of information or dashboards if I need to look for something specific. And as I log in, I'm greeted by my home screen, which has a couple of different dashboards available for me to see, things I need to work on today, any specific cases that I'm currently assigned to or working on, and then other things around current ongoing conversations. So this is a quick insight for me to get a holistic grasp of what the overall team is working on, and I could be assigned to specific queues or work streams to get those conversations routed to me. I also have Copilot over here in the right, where I could get help with writing emails or finding answers about policies or procedures for my organization to help me get better resolutions. And I'm also embedded into my Teams chat. over here as well, so I can even talk to my other team members while I'm in the application. And as I'm available here in the system, I would be routed any incoming calls that are coming my way, such as John, who is calling in with his loan assistance query. So I should be getting that any moment. And in the meantime, I want to also show the inbox. Oh, did somebody say something or have a question? Okay, never mind. Yeah, so I also have an inbox over here, and this is where I can see current work items that I have. Um, and here I am getting a voice call request, and you can see it's identified as John Dole based on the phone number. So when I accept this request, it's going to take me to a new tab just for this specific call. And it's going to default some of the information around the customer's information. So I can see all of the context and history of this customer, such as their contact information. I can see any information that was handled in the previous call with the IVR. And then I can see the phone number that was used to identify, how long they were on the call, and their recent cases as well. So I have full context of the interactions and relationship with this member, as well as a timeline showing me a lot of the other phone calls or previous history. And I can even integrate data from other systems. So in this scenario, we're talking about a bank. So for example, I also have visibility into the previous and recent transactions for this customer as well. And over in the call, I can show the transcript. I can see exactly what was there. And then if I come into my agent scripts pane over here, I can actually select scripts and see what I should say. So I'm going to follow this script for a minute, and then I'll be able to see how the sentiment of the customer is impacted as well as we go throughout the call. Good morning. Thank you for calling my bank. My name is Sarah. How can I assist you today? I'd be happy to help you with that. May I have your name and account number to verify your information? So as you can see, the transcript is coming in here live, and I'm able to see and see exactly what's being said. Great. So I'm going to kind of, I would be able to use these scripts to go through and address the scenario. And then once we've addressed it and resolved it, I can, go into my next steps in closing. Um, and I'm going to quickly call it out. I hope you had a good resolution. Are you satisfied with your service today? So as I'm going through, you can see I have a slightly positive result here as we're ending up that call. So all of these analytics are helping me throughout the interaction. And I also have Copilot here summarizing the conversation. So I can quickly read through it at a glance, or my manager could quickly read through it and get an understanding of what occurred. And if I need to take any further actions on this issue, I could go ahead and create a case, or maybe I'm just documenting what I did for this customer. So I have a quick create over here where I can just quickly identify, give a title, loan assistance request, and then I've already got that description from the AI summary populated in here, and all I need to do is just set the origin, the priority, and the case status. and then I can go ahead and I could save and route it to another team if it needed additional oversight from other members, or I could simply save and resolve if I've addressed the issue. So that's allowing for much quicker work for me in documenting the interactions that I've had with my customers. So I've resolved this case, and now we have a resolution type, and we can just complete that process. And we have all of this visibility over here as well. And you can see there's more Copilot features in here summarizing the highlights of the timeline of the customer or the case. And I can access other types of, for example, knowledge articles if I needed to get more information on how to resolve it. So that kind of concludes the first scenario. There's a couple other things I can touch on that you could take notes, or you can transfer your phone call to another agent during the call if you needed to, or consult with a supervisor and get insight or help in supporting them. But otherwise, we've kind of gone through the phone call scenario. So you can see how all of these different AI-powered capabilities can really help to speed up and help provide the best service possible. Now we are moving on to the next scenario, which is for the chatbot escalation. So in this case, we're talking about a member who thinks she might have had, an incorrect transaction, maybe a fraudulent transaction, and she wants really quick help for addressing that. So here we're going to talk about how we have so many different options at our fingertips for supporting customers with self-service bots. And then how we can resolve that as an agent as well if it does get escalated. So here I'm going to pull up my chat interface on the side of my Dynamics, so we can see the experience of the agent on the left, and then the customer on the right. So as I log into this website, I have a little chat icon here in the bottom. If I open this up, this is a pre-chat survey asking me some identifying information so that it can provide a more tailored experience for me. I'm going to make sure I enter the email of a customer that's already in the system so I can have that person identified. And as I come in here, I'm going to start a new chat. It's giving me a greeting message, which is completely customizable. And you can have a branched flow where you're giving them specific options. You can also have more of an open-ended chat where you train the bot on different knowledge content like FAQs, and it can use generative AI to provide support to the customer. And all of that is completely in control in terms of what data sources you give it access to. And from there, I'm going to say, hi, I think I have an unauthorized charge on my account. All right, so it's saying, oh, did you mean unrecognized charges? That's what I am exactly talking about. And now it's offering me some options around what I want to do here. So this is where the flexibility of the platform really shines. We have, for example, I could directly give the option to the user to lock their card. And in this case, we would need to have the authentication in place where the user is either logged in, and we're then able to access their transaction details, their account information, and we could perform actions such as locking their card directly from the bot. I could also click on dispute charge, talk to an agent, which will escalate the chat directly, or I could even directly call the bank from this button as well. So for today, I'm going to click on the dispute charge option, and I'm getting some summary instructions here on what I can do to dispute that charge. So it's giving me some suggestions like reaching out to the merchant directly before I actually come and talk to the bank about it, and it's letting me know that I do need to dispute that charge within 60 days for it to be validated or valid. And now I have some different button options for how I want to proceed. I could either end it because I'm happy with this response, or maybe I want to just directly talk to an agent. So in this case, I'm going to talk to an agent, and it's giving me real-time updates on where I'm at. So it's saying an agent will be with me in a moment. And now I'm getting the chat escalation in the Dynamics Contact Center interface. So as the agent, I'm going to accept this chat, and now it's going to do a similar thing like it did for the phone call, where it kind of loads the conversation and the contact. And in this case, I would be viewing the previous chat history before I'm transferred. So now I really want that conversation summary and to understand what is the issue. Okay, so they've reported an unauthorized charge. I could even translate this if I needed to into other languages. I could copy this and I can respond to the issue. So there's a lot of tools I have at my fingertips here for actually responding, and especially around things like quick replies. So I could quickly, search some of these with different hashtags. Maybe I want to, greet, and then I'm going to ask them the verification steps. So these are saved. As I'm sending it, it's popping up directly for the customer as well. So I can use all of this information to identify the customer and resolve it. Here I can also start that consultation. So if I wanted to get input on the resolution process from someone else, I can see, which other reps might be online for me to consult with. I could transfer the chat to another agent, and I can also take notes on this as well. Um, you know, charge occurred 2 days ago, double the amount usually charged. Whatever notes might be relevant there are going to be pinned. And then I also have my Copilot handy for summarizing the conversation, and I can link that up. And I have a lot of different options here. I can add attachments to the chat, and I can add them as a customer as well. And I'm also still getting those real-time customer sentiment analysis, so I can see how this person is perceiving my responses. So if I type, thanks so much, it's going to turn that to a positive tone here. So I have all of that same experience for the chat piece that I did for the call. I have the context and all of that case history as well. And I can use these agent scripts in a text format where it's actually telling me what to do to go through that. And then I can use that in conjunction with the quick replies to provide really seamless and quick responses to that customer. All right. So we've now talked about how we can get faster resolutions. We can customize the options that we provide from a self-service perspective. We can integrate it into our systems and be able to provide information real time about the customer's account details or transaction histories, and we can even take actions on that. So now for the third scenario, wanted to talk about the outbound campaign scenario. So, a lot of banks, in addition to handling the inbound calls or communications from the customers, they're also doing outbound campaigns to their members to offer them different offers, such as, credit cards or different loan rates, things like that. So in this case, we have that manual dialing process where it's very hard and very time consuming to actually call out to that whole list of of customers. And then we also have, the aspect of it's a very tedious process, and it's not efficient from, the agent's time because they're having to call, spend time dialing, spend time leaving voicemails. So this is where that auto dialer capability that we've built has a really good role to play because it helps you with automating, the voicemail aspect of it. It helps by automating the dialing aspect, and then you can set it up in a way where it's one-to-one with an agent, or it's going to be, calling out for a whole team. So it's really configurable, and it's going to give you better productivity when it comes to your agent's time and help you with having higher conversion rates, because the more volume of people you can call, the more people you're actually going to get on the phone. And then that's going to ultimately translate into a better conversion rate. So let's see what that looks like in the system as well. I'm going to pull up my browser again and maximize my screen. So from this perspective, I simply need to go to my navigation, and we've added our solution that has the outbound call campaigns. So from here, I can see some of the previous campaigns that I've run. And then I can also go ahead and create a new campaign. So when I create this, I'm going to give it a name. I can also define the voicemail message that I want to leave. Hi, this is my bank calling to offer you a limited time credit card. Please call us back. So this is actually the message that the IVR will leave for the customer if the customer doesn't pick up the phone and it goes to voicemail. Now, I also have the option of entirely automating this with IVR, where the IVR can actually answer the call and guide the customer, gauge their interest level, and then route the interested customers to an agent and actually track if they're not interested and decline the offer, etc. I can also have this turned off in the case where I want all of the calls that are picked up to be routed to the agent. So that's just a setting level permission there. And then we also have the dialer type. So from dialer perspective, we have the progressive dialer, where a single agent would upload their own personal list of contacts they want to call, and then the auto dialer will call them one by one automatically as each call ends. And then the agent will be taking all of those calls. Then we have the predictive dialer option, where there might be, 5 agents that are all calling on the same campaign at the same time. And so in this case, the predictive dialer will call all of the numbers at once, and then whoever answers the call gets routed to any of the available agents. So if I save this campaign here, it will allow me to choose a file, and that's where I can upload my campaign list with all of those, contacts and numbers of the people I need to dial out to for this specific campaign. And once I save it, I get this option to start the campaign. So this is going to initiate the calling. When I click start, it's now going to change my status to calling. And as I refresh this phone call grid, it's going to start showing me all of the calls that are being worked on. So if I click on the refresh over here, it will start showing me all the calls that are going out in a minute. Here we go. So you can see all of these individuals are now receiving calls, and anyone who answers that call is going to be routed over towards an agent. I'm personally getting a call on my phone right now. And
Hello, from Imperium Dynamics with an exclusive limited time offer on our low interest credit card. As a valued member, you may be eligible for a 5.99% introductory APR for the first 12 months, no annual fee, a personalized credit limit. To speak with a representative and learn more, press 1. To decline this offer, press 2. If you'd like us to call you back at a later time, press 3. Please hold. You're next in line.
all right, so now I'm receiving that call. I can accept it, and then I can run my campaign script and go through that process with the customer. And so in this case, you can have those same kind of scripts defaulted for everyone to run through and document those outcomes. And then the IVR will actually track the outcomes of the campaign as well. So if I come here, I can see, you know, how many were abandoned, how many were declined, how many were interested, how many went to voicemail, and how long the durations of the calls were. So I can actually group it by the outcomes as well in this list, and then I can see some metrics and outcomes and report on all of those as well. So this is really powerful for, you know, helping to get through those lists much more efficiently and reach a lot more people with these offers, which ultimately translates into a higher conversion rate and a lot of time saved for the agents themselves. All right, so that concludes the outbound campaign piece that was recently launched by Imperium on top of Contact Center. And now we'll talk about the reporting aspect. So Brittany here is going to play the role of the supervisor for today's demonstration, and I'll hand it over to her.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. So as a supervisor, I am able to see sort of this real-time visibility, these campaign and interaction outcomes, this automated data capture, and this overall performance KPIs, right? So with Contact Center, I don't really have to wait or worry by the end of the day to see all of these reports. And I also don't have to worry of all of my agents with their manual tracking sheets. So I will be showcasing those dashboards, but first I really wanted to show another cool feature. Let me just share my screen here. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see
Really
it.
great. Okay, amazing. So as we recall in the second scenario, the agent Sarah was actually helping a customer with a fraud or loan assistance. So as a supervisor, I'm here in the omnichannel ongoing conversation dashboard, same as the agent Sarah's side dashboard. And on the left, I have the filter by queue, so I can see all of the chat queues, the contact center queue, or I can filter to which one I exactly want to see. And let's say here, this chat just popped up by Brian in the queue and it's a live chat. And right now you can't see the sentiment, but say there is a slightly negative sentiment, right? I, as a supervisor, can actually monitor this chat. So if I click here, this monitor on the right side will pop up. Let me check right here. Perfect. And then as it loads, it will open up that chat. And then great. So right now, I am not able to text or actually intervene in the conversation. I can just view it and make sure that one, the customer is being treated well and fairly, and two, that their problem is actually being solved. And let's say that it's either taking longer than usual, or I see the conversation not going well, or maybe sometimes the agent is not really treating them really nicely. I can, one, click this join consult with agent, and this will open up a conversation solely with just my agent, and I can help him, re-advise him, and things like that. Or say that I actually wanted to take control, I can now hit the join conversation, and now I will be in charge and taking over with that client, if that makes sense. So again, another cool feature from the supervisor side, just so I can monitor how everything's going on my side. So if we get more into the dashboard side, here I am in the omni-channel historical analytics, where I can see sort of this holistic view of all my data. And again, focus on that bigger picture of the analytics. So here we can see the conversation, and this is from the last 30 days. all of the channels, all of the queues, all of my agents, and all of the conversation status, and even the time zones. So again, it gives me the overall of the incoming conversations, the engaged conversations, what was the abandon rate, the average speed to answer, and again, all of that important information. And then I have another different type of data with different graphs that helps me really easily see those results and see the main data that I care about. So this was for the omni-channel historical analytics, and another dashboard that I can also see is the omni-channel real-time analytics that are happening today. So same thing, I can see the time, the channel, the queue, the time zone. But again, for the time, it would be today, the open, the 24 hours, or the last 24 hours, and it would give me that data that I want to see right in that moment. If we go back to the omni-channel historical analytics, here I am in the conversation tab, but I can actually switch to see the specific queue tab. And I can even see the specific agent if I want to see one. So here, if you go to the agents, if we click down, I can click whichever agent I want to monitor or see that data specifically. So let's say that I want to see one of my team members, Agent Hassan. If I click it, it would automatically refresh that data to only see him and his activity and what he has done either in the last 30 days, in the last weeks, months, or years. So again, kind of helps me get that overall view within my whole team and individually within my agents as well. Now, let's say that I just wanted to see the data within my chatbot. If I go in the bot, that I can also see that data. And again, either I can do an individual agent or all of my agents, as well as if I wanted to see that overall voice call data, I can also see that as well. So again, really easy. And again, as a supervisor, it helps me get to the bottom of all the data that's important to me to either see trends, identify them, see what was the biggest issues, and then how I can strategize to resolve them. Let me share my screen on the presentation. Perfect. So again, the benefits of this would be the improved visibility. Can you guys see my screen or did it go black as well?
It's black. Oh, there it is.
Let
I
me
can
see here. Maybe it's just perfect. It's a better overall customer satisfaction, and it builds sort of that executive confidence in the contact center's efficiency and the data integrity. So that was, I believe, our last scenario within the customer side, the agent side, and the supervisor side. So with this, I will hand it back to Sarah to talk about these touch points.
Thanks, Brittany. So to kind of conclude the demo here, we looked at how the contact center platform can support and provide a really, really improved and productive and satisfying experience from the customer standpoint, the agent experience, and the supervisors. From a customer standpoint, we're enabling every possible channel for customer self-service to give them the information that they need at their fingertips and decrease their reliance on having to call or having to talk to live support. And then we're also giving them that ability to really quickly find the information they need and get the help that's required. From an agent standpoint, we're really helping them to have an easier time resolving customer questions or situations, which ultimately leads to better customer satisfaction. But we're supporting them with AI-powered summarization, which helps them not only get the context of the interaction when it gets escalated, as well as wrap up and close out those activities with the correct summarization more quickly. It's also helping with prioritizing the interactions based on the customer sentiment and suggesting the right resolutions at the right moment based on the topics. And it also, streamlines a lot of the documentation processing and automating some of those steps that they would otherwise have to do manually to save them time. And then from a supervisor standpoint, we're giving them all of the information that they need to make the right decisions about improving the performance of the team, from highlighting the sentiment analysis over each channel, to being able to granularly monitor and see the types of interactions that are going on with the customers, and then be able to really identify root causes or areas where maybe we need to provide more knowledge articles on a certain subject or other things like that to help improve the processes and the customer satisfaction results. So that kind of covers from an end-to-end standpoint all of the different roles that we're supporting with this really powerful platform. And yeah, thank you for your time.
Perfect. Thank you, Sarah. And in closing, we wanted to just thank everyone for taking the time to attend and view this webinar and see how you guys can advance your contact center utilizing AI and Microsoft technologies. So to access your 1 hour vision and value session, please scan the QR code. We will reach out and get that scheduled with you guys and see how we can help advance that contact center. Thank you.
Perfect. Does anybody have any questions? All righty. Well, with that, I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. And now that the sun is starting to really shine again, hopefully we can all get outside a little bit this weekend too. At least that's what I'm hoping for. All right. Take care, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.